Guys, please check your audio and video settings, please. Yes, boss. Yeah, till yesterday I was talking about what, guys? The introduction to design pattern, basics of design pattern. What are the pattern catalogs we are having? Tell me what are the popular pattern catalogs in Java? Ganga 4 pattern catalog, JWE pattern catalog. In microservices, do you have any pattern catalog as on today? Not there. Altogether, how many design pattern we are going to learn? 30 plus design patterns we are going to learn, right? 30 plus, 30 to 35 design patterns we are going to learn. Okay, let's start our journey with what? First design pattern, singleton class pattern, guys. Singleton. For Java people, it's a singleton Java class. For C++ people, come on. Okay. For C++ people, singleton C++ class. For C# people, it is single sharp C# class. But basic pattern name is singleton class pattern. Okay. It's like a very, very important design pattern. If you go to 10 interviews, in all 10 interviews, this question will be asked. Without asking this question, your interview will not be completed. And if you give very regular answer, interviewer will not be happy. Interviewer provides piece of paper and pen. He will ask you to write perfect singleton class. Okay, perfect singleton class, step by step, we will make it, boss. Step by step, we will make it. Okay, that's why we are going to spend nearly 1 week time only on this pattern, because we want to give depth knowledge of this pattern. If interviewer asks this question, we should speak until he says stop. We should make him to realize you don't know so many things in singleton. The like that we have to learn this pattern, guys. Because when people are expecting something regular, we should not give regular answer. We should give regular answer plus something extra which interviewer also don't know. So for that purpose, we should give a lot of time for this. Fine, boss. Singleton pattern. Tell me. It is Ganga 4 creational pattern. Ganga 4 creational pattern. Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Ganga 4 creational pattern, boss. Right, boss. Now tell me. Okay. In Java, it is called Singleton Java class. And C# and C#, it is called Singleton C# class. What, guys? C# class and etc. Okay, since it is Ganga 4 pattern, okay, can be implemented in any OOP language, object-oriented programming language, guys. Right, boss? Super, guys. Right. Let us think about the problem. Creating, listen carefully, multiple objects for Java class. Okay, Java class. Okay, in the following situations. Is waste of memory and CPU time. Waste of memory and CPU time. Yeah. If class is not having member variables, nothing but attributes, nothing but properties. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Okay. Okay, properties, technically called state, guys. Class is not having any member variables. I created 20 objects. Everyone got the clarity, guys? Come on. No member variables. Okay, I created multiple objects. Okay, all objects not having state. Instead of creating multiple objects without state, it's better to create one object and use it for multiple times or not. If class is not having member variables or attributes or properties, nothing but state. If class is having read-only state, nothing but final variables. Okay, guys. Final variable means fixed data, guys. I created 20 objects for a class which is having fixed state. All objects are going to have same state. Instead of creating multiple objects with the same state, create one object and use it for multiple times or not. If class is having read-only state, guys. If class is having shareable state, if class is having shareable state, like, okay, cache or buffer, like cache or buffer, guys. A class is having some data that is required in multiple other classes. Instead of creating multiple objects for that class, create one object and use it for multiple times or not. When class is having shareable data, guys, with the data that is required in multiple other classes. Come on, shareable data means what? The data that is required in multiple other classes. So instead of creating multiple objects having same state, okay, which is required in multiple other classes, create one object and use it for what? Multiple times. Use it for what? Multiple times. Getting my point, guys? Okay. Right. Solution. Develop the Java class as Singleton class. Develop the class as a Singleton class, which allows us to create only one object in any given situation. In any given situation. In any given situation. Okay. Okay, guys. Create one object for Java class without state or with read-only state or with shareable state and use that object for multiple times. Use that object for multiple times. This avoids memory wastage and CPU time wastage. CPU time wastage. Understanding my statement, guys? Create one object for Java class without state or with read-only state or with shareable state and use that object for multiple time. This avoids memory wastage and what? CPU time wastage or not? Okay, guys. Now listen. In Java, object creation is costly process in terms of memory and CPU utilization. In terms of memory and CPU utilization. So, come on, guys. It is recommended to minimize or avoid object creation as long as you can. Are you listening my statement, my dears? As long as you can. So that is the main primary goal, guys. Now listen carefully. Predefined singleton classes are java.lang.runtime, guys. Java.lang.runtime. When application is started, guys, how many runtimes will be there? One runtime. If it when application is started, how many runtimes will be there, guys? One runtime. One application, one runtime. If I try to access runtime for 30 times, same runtime should come, a different runtime should come. Same runtime. Same runtime should come, a different runtime should come. Same runtime should come. That's why they have given java.lang.runtime class as what? Singleton class, guys. Okay. One application contains only one runtime. Only one runtime. Okay. One application will have only one runtime. Na? Java space class name. Application runtime started, runtime ended. For that application, how many runtimes will be there, guys? Only one runtime. Come on, use common sense. One application contains one runtime. Okay, right. If you try to access, so the runtime class is given as singleton class, singleton Java class. You have to use bit common sense here. Okay, I think I have to tell what is runtime, what is this one. First of all, let me give clarity here. Command prompt java c test app.java. Okay, this is compilation, right? Command prompt java test app runtime. Tell me, guys, during the execution of, right, boss? Tell me, guys, during the execution of this test app, how many runtimes will be there, guys? Only one runtime will be there, right? If you ask this application, give me runtime for 100 times during the execution of this application, how many runtimes it can give? Only one runtime. So that's why they have given runtime as what? Singleton class. A runtime as what? Singleton. You try to create multiple objects, it won't allow. You ask n number of objects also, it will just create one object and gives that object again and again. Again and again. Are you understanding my statement, guys? Okay. Super, guys. Right. End of the execution. End of the execution. Tell me, this is runtime of the application or not? Super, guys. Now let's come back. Java.awt.desktop. Java.awt.desktop. First of all, tell me, one computer will have how many desktops, guys? One computer will have how many desktops? One desktop. Why? When you are in the computer, if you ask me to give 10 desktop, you should give same desktop again and again or not? So that's why they restricted to create only one object for a desktop class. Okay. So one computer contains one desktop. I definitely present Singleton in a different angle. What you know is different. What I am going to present in a different angle. One computer contains one desktop. So the desktop class is given. The desktop class is given as Singleton Java class. Okay, guys. Tell me next. org.apache.log4j. org.apache.log4j.logger. Okay, logger. All logging activities. Logging activities means flow of execution activities, guys. What activities? Flow of execution activities should be taken care by. Should be taken care. Logging activities of a application should be taken care by single logger. In log4j you will study about it. Single logger object. So the logger class is given as Singleton Java class. Logger class is given as Singleton Java class. Everyone understanding my statement, guys? Super, guys. Even though you are trying to do login in multiple classes, for entire application flow of execution activity should be taken care by what? Single logger object. That's why they have given logger as what? Singleton class. Okay. Now this is very important note, guys. Okay. Though Java class is allowing to create multiple objects. Allowing to create multiple objects. If someone is creating only one object for the Java class, then that class is not called as Singleton class. Singleton Java class. This is very important, guys. Okay. See, guys, public class test. Though class is allowing to create multiple objects. Multiple object. Public class test. Here, no, some data is there, some methods are there. Okay, test T is equal to new test of. I am creating only one object. Since I am creating only one object, I am not creating multiple objects. Can I call test class as a Singleton class? Test is not a Singleton class. Test is not a singleton Java class. Okay. Okay. Now tell me, guys. Our servlet component class. Servlet component class is not a singleton Java class. Why, sir? Servlet container creates how many objects for our servlet component class, guys? One object. But do you think our servlet component class is singleton? No. Container is not interested to create second, third, fourth objects, guys. Class is allowing. Container is not interested. If someone is not interested to create second object, happy with one object, do you think that class is called singleton class? Do you really think that class is called singleton class? Are you understanding my statement? Container is happy with one object, boss. What to do? Are you understanding my? Hey, when Spring Container is also not making classes as singleton classes. Everyone understood my point? Our servlet component class is not singleton class because servlet container is happy with one object of servlet component class, though servlet component class allows. Okay, guys. Servlet component class allows to create multiple objects. Yes or no? Na? So servlet component allows to create multiple objects. Right. This is something like this, guys. Everyone, please focus. Okay, you are in library department and you are not taking bribe because no one is giving bribe. That's why you are called sincere, right? Is it called sincerity? Is it called sincerity? You are not taking bribe because no one is giving bribe. You are called sincere officer. No. When you are called sincere officer, you are in a police department. You are in a mining department. Understanding my point, guys? Okay. We are in a revenue department and you are not taking bribe. Then you are called sincere officer, right? Then you are called sincere officer. That means the Java class that allows us to create only one object. Though we are trying to create multiple objects, then it is called singleton class, guys. Whatever object that is created as a first object, that object reference should come again and again if you are trying to create more objects. Then it is called singleton class, guys. Then it is called singleton class. I hope it is registered clearly in the brain. You are there in police department. People are offering bribe because there are a lot of works with you. But you are not taking bribe. Then you are called sincere officer. You are there in library department. You are there in what? Forest. No one is offering bribe because people are not there to offer bribe to you. That's why you are not called sincere officer, right? I think after this bulb should glow, guys. Okay. If Java class is allowing to create only one object, though we are asking that Java class to create multiple objects, then that class is called singleton Java class. Singleton Java class. Okay, right. When we ask Singleton Java class to create and give more than one object, then it returns already created first object reference back to people, back to clients. Okay, first object reference back to clients. Okay, back to clients. Everyone understanding my statement, guys? Right. To develop perfect Singleton Java class. Okay. To develop perfect Singleton class, we need to close. Okay. All the doors that are there to create object for Java class and open only one door to create object where okay, object will be created only when it is not already been created. Understanding my statement, guys? Open only one door to create object where object will be created where the object will be created only if it is not already been created. This is the simple thought, guys. Okay, I have a classroom. If 10 doors are there to enter into classroom, I cannot check the student whether student has done registration or not. What should I do? Close all the doors, open only one door. In that door, we can verify and send the student inside or not. We can verify and send the student or not. Similarly, if I have 10 doors which are open to create objects for Java class. Everyone understanding my statement? If I one way in one door, one fellow will create object. Using another door, another fellow will create another object. Using third door, one more fellow create third object. So then there is a possibility of creating more and more objects or not, guys. So what should I do? Close all the doors that are there to create object. Whatever the possibility. Open only one door. In that one door also, don't create object blindly, boss. First check object is already created or not. Not created. Create and return. Already created. Try to return existing object reference. So what happened? For all people who want to have an object of that class, how many doors are open? Only one door. In that door, anyhow, verification is happening. Object is created or not? Yes, verification is happening. So that's why what happens, boss? That class become perfect Singleton or not? That class become perfect Singleton or not, guys? Super, guys. Right, guys. Okay, first one. Singleton Java class with minimum standards. Minimum standards. Yeah, first we'll develop with the minimum standards, guys. Later we will go with what? Okay. Yeah, I will see. First, we'll develop with the minimum standards. Okay, then definitely other doors will be there to create object. Okay, we'll try to understand each door to create object, we close it. Second door to create object, we close it. Third door to create object, we close it. So that's why don't worry about what are those doors now. Right now, you don't worry about what are those doors. I will introduce those doors one by one. First, our focus is how to develop Java class as singleton class with the minimum standards. Shall we got the clarity, guys? Okay, because it's too early to talk about all the doors now, because a lot of maturity is required to understand those doors in core Java. You will feel you are learning core Java 2.0 with me, core Java 2.0 with me. You will study so many concepts of core Java which are neglected in core Java. Okay, but don't come to one conclusion. My core Java faculty has not taught anything. He has taught everything, boss. But at that stage of core Java learning, you don't have maturity to understand these depth concept. That's why I'm taking privilege to teach here. Okay, I am taking what? Privilege to teach here. Learning is important. Where you learn, in which mode you learn, in which course you learn, that really does not matter. Okay, so that's why please open your brain to listen core Java in another angle. Because so many people have a desire of listening core Java from me. I don't take core Java classes separately, but when you attend my Gang of 4 pattern, you will feel your core Java is revised in another angle. No doubt in that. Okay, guys. Singleton Java class with what? This one, guys. Okay, fine, guys. Okay, what is the biggest door to create object for any Java class, guys? Using zero param constructor and new operator, right? New operator and zero param constructor. Come on, guys. Yes or no? Na? New operator using one or other constructor. But generally, we try to use what? Default constructor, nothing but zero param constructor. First of all, I should close the door to create object of the class outside the class. Everyone, to create the object of the class outside the class. If I take constructor as the private constructor, can we use constructor outside the class, guys? No. Can we use new operator outside the class to create object, guys? No. That means big door is closed or not? Big door is closed or not? Inside class, there is a possibility of creating object. Or inside class, developer will be there. Developer only developing the class. Why we will create objects unnecessarily? Outsider may be someone else, other developer. Outsider may be a different developer. He may create a number of objects, right? But inside the class, why we create objects unnecessarily? That too when we are developing that class as a singleton class. Come on. Everyone getting my point there, guys? Okay. Place zero param constructor. Zero param constructor. In fact, all constructors. Okay. As private constructor. Okay. To stop outsiders to use new operator to create objects. To create objects using new operator. Okay, to create objects for the class. I think this is very, very important concept or not. Big door is closed, guys. Big door is closed. Esa no na? Super. Next, B, guys. Okay. See, guys. When outsider wants to create object, if object is not already created for the singleton class, you should allow to create object. Super. You should allow to create object. That object reference should be there somewhere. That object reference should be there somewhere, so that next time When someone asks for the object, I will check the reference variable, whether it is having null or object. Null is there means I will allow to create the object. If null is not there, I will assume that object is already created. I will try to return existing object reference or not. I will try to return a existing object reference or not. Then what should I do? We should take one private static. We should take one private static reference variable of singleton class type. Singleton class type to hold that single object reference. To hold that single object reference, which can be used later to check whether object is really created or not. To check whether single object is already created or not. Come on, guys. Array, you want to see your class. You want to see your class allowing one object creation, right? Okay, when that object is created, if I don't hold object reference in a variable, how you will check next time whether object is already created or not? Come on. If you refer that object using a reference variable, come on. If reference variable is holding null, even first object is not created. So create first object. If null not there, or address of the object is there, then what we will say? Object is already created. Return the existing object reference. Don't allow to create a new object. Yes or no? Na? See, I don't teach, guys. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, jump into dryness. I am against of teaching that kind of methodology. My style of teaching is I will make you to think, I will write, I will make you people to think logically. Yes or no? Na? Place one. I'll use sample code also. Don't worry. Private static reference variable of class type. Okay, of class type. Okay, of class type. Class type to hold. Okay, to hold the reference of one object to be created. Okay, one object to be created. So based on this reference variable, okay, we can check whether single object for Java class is already created or not. Already created or not, guys. Okay, guys. Tell me. Reference variable holds null. Give me 2 minutes time. Holds null. Okay. Single object still not created. Reference variable. Okay. Reference variable holds the address of the object. Address of the single object. Single object is already created. Single object is already created. Okay, already created. Yes, this is second one, guys. Give me time, few minutes time, you will get the idea. Next one. Place one static factory method. What, guys? Static factory method. Method creating object. Method creating object, guys. Place one Static factory method having singleton logic. Singleton logic. Singleton logic. That means logic to create object by checking the. Okay, guys. Array, factory means anything that creates something is called factory. Anything that creates something is called factory, guys. Come on. Car factory creates car. Factory method. It's a method creating object. Method creating object is called factory. Varun Reddy, clearly I have written method creating object. Understanding my statement, guys? Logic to create object by checking the above reference variable. Above reference variable. Okay, having singleton logic, guys. Now tell me, singleton class. Single means one. Ton means object. Okay, so the class that allows to create only one object is called singleton class. Everyone got it? Ton means object. Ton means object. Singleton means single object. Everyone understanding my point, guys? Okay. Okay, now tell me. Okay, now I have to give sample code based on. If you follow these three basic things, guys, you will get singleton class with the minimum standards. Definitely you will get singleton class with the minimum standards. Okay, now I'll take one real-time example. Office is there, 10 employees are there. I want to see all the 10 employees working with the same printer. All the 10 employees working with the same printer. Come on, guys. Everyone getting my point? Okay. If I take printer as a Java class, and you want to see all employees using same printer, you should have only one object for printer class or not? You should have only one object for printer class or not? So better to take printer as a singleton class or not? Better to take printer as a singleton class or not? Okay. To make all the employees of a office working with single printer device, single printer device. Okay, single printer device. It's better to take printer as the singleton Java class. If we design software application for it. Everyone got the clarity, my dears? Yeah, the people who missed initial 2 classes, for them links are provided. Please save them. The people who missed initial 2 classes, for them links are provided. Please. Okay. It is there at 5:30, but actually I am starting session by 5:45. Yes. If we design software application for it, it's better to take printer as a singleton class. Okay, guys. Shall I go for it as printer.java? Printer.java. Come on. Singleton Java class. Right, boss. Yeah, if you are interested, you can keep that class in a package. That's not an issue now. Okay. Public class. Are taking public is optional. Printer, boss. Everyone, are you understanding my statement, guys? Public class printer. Public class printer. Public class printer. I should take a reference variable of same class, guys. So what I am going to, first of all, I am going to take private constructor, private printer, private printer. Yes or no? Understanding my statement? Okay, now listen. Whenever body is not there, better to write no body. One comment like no body, guys. Actually, in Eclipse kind of thing, plus symbol, minus symbol will come. Collapse, expand. Everyone think that array, it is empty because it is collapsed. But you should give the feeling that it is like that because nobody is there. Are you understanding my statement? It's a good sign. Anyhow, for practical proof, guys, we are going to write some comment. Today I'm going to write some message. System.out.println 0 param constructor, because we have to feel practically now, boss. 0 param constructor. Then no need of writings, nobody. If at all you are really not interested to keep any code, any lines inside the method definition, better to write a comment, nobody. Understanding my statement? Okay. Rama, first I will explain the storyboard, then we will see practically. Whatever I typed code, everything will be discussed in IDE also. Maybe you are new to my style of teaching. Please habituate. I will first give storyboard, then we will implement same thing in Eclipse IDE. First we design the code, then we execute the code. I hope you are understanding my statement, guys. Okay, whoever new people are there, I prefer more on concept building. Right. Okay. Right, boss. Now tell me, private printer, nobody you should write as a comment, Bob. If at all you are not placing anybody, go for comment. You just write as a comment, so that in Eclipse, even though that plus and minus symbol, expand, collapse symbol is there, no confusion will be there. Okay, don't worry. At the time of implementation, I'll show practicals. I'll show that one. Now tell me, what's the next one, guys? This is first rule. Rule number one. Rule number one, 0 param constructor. Okay, private 0 param constructor. Private is important. Here, private is important, guys. That's number one. Next. Second one is, guys, what, guys? Private static reference variable. Reference variable of class type. Class type. That means same current class type. Tell me, guys, private static printer. Keep the good habit of taking static variables in uppercase letters to differentiate normal variables from static variable. Generally, static variable, final variable, static final variable, we try to take in uppercase letters. We try to take in uppercase letters. Got it? Integer class, max underscore value, min underscore value. They are what? Static variable. Generally, they will be there in uppercase letters or not. Yeah, not compulsory. You should take instance. You can take any other name. You can take any other name. Okay. Question number one. Why are you taking this one private? Array, if it is there inside the class, no outsider can access. If it is a public, outsider may access and may change object to null, null to object, and they may try to create more objects or not. They might try to create more objects or not. I don't want to give any outsider coming and accessing this reference variable directly or indirectly. It should be used inside the class only. That's why private. Why static, sir? Why static? You can take a normal non-static, na? Array, which variables can be used within the methods? Okay, without object, guys. Which data is visible within the class without object, guys? Within the class, outside the class, without object, which variables are visible, guys? Static. Static, guys, come on. Static. I don't want to see people unnecessarily creating object to use this variable. People should be in a position to use this variable inside the methods without creating object. Without creating object means what should be taken? Static should be taken. I don't write the code. We design the code. I hope you are enjoying my statements. Okay, boss. Right, boss. Next. Static factory method having singleton logic. Having singleton logic. Okay. Yeah, if possible, public static method, guys. Yeah, sir, why it should be public, sir? Array, I said, na, all doors should be closed, one door should be opened, and that one door is nothing but static factory method. Array, one door should be visible to outsider means that one door should be there as a public thing or not. That one door should be there as a public thing or not. Array, classroom is having 10 doors, guys. But I want to filter the students, okay, by closing all the doors. So 9 doors should be locked inside, 1 door should be kept open. Then only students will come so that verification takes place or not. Got the point or not, guys? Okay. So this array, singleton class, 1 door that is open to check and create object is nothing but static factory method, guys. Public static. Tell me. Factory method means the method that creates and returns object. The method that creates and returns object. Okay, this method is planning to create which class object? Current class object. Method planning to return current class object means return type should be what, guys? Current class name or not? Method wants to create student class object. Should be the return type. What should be the return type of the method? Student class. Method wants to create customer class object. What should be the return type of the class, guys? Customer. Method wants to create and return string class object. What should be the return type, guys? String. Method wants to create and return printer class object. Okay, what should be the return type, guys? Printer. Okay, printer. Yeah, any name you can take, guys. Create instance, create object, any create printer, get printer, but I am trying to take get instance. Already my variable name is instance at the top now. In significance to that, I am taking get instance. Matching, coding standards I am trying to follow. Okay, now question number 1. I know you have a question here. Sir, why are you taking static, sir? Array, if it is taken as a non-static method, to call this method object is required. But people are going to call this method to get the object. When people are calling this method to get the object, how they call on the object? Come on. If it is a non-static method, what's the problem? To call this method, object is required. And people are calling this method to get the first object. Okay. When they are calling this method to create object, how they will call on object? I think you are using your common sense here. It's something like this. Software company says, okay, get experience, join in my company. And you are saying, give me job, I will get experience. Software company says, get experience, join in my company, right? Come on. And you are says, give me job and I will get the experience. Same thing here now, if I don't take it as a static method. Developer says, okay, I have to call you to get the object. Give me object. Array, call this method to get the object. It's never ending story, guys. Deadlock situation happens, right? Okay, outsider should be in a position to call this method without object because he's calling that method to get that first object. If you take static one, it would be problem or not. I don't make you people to remember the things blindly, Ra Babu. Classical thinking, right? Yeah, I think now you convinced why it should be static, why it should be printer as the return type. Convinced or not? Why it should be public? Because this is the only method that should be visible to outsider to create the object by calling the method, that single object. Why static? Outsider should be in a position to call this method without object. Why printer? At the end, this method has to check and return, check and create object if object is not created. So that's why return type should be printer. If object is already created for printer class, it should return reference of that object. Not created, it should create new object and it should return reference of the object. If you are not following my terminology, means you are very poor in core Java, boss. My suggestion is first sit in core Java, then think about design patterns. First core Java, then design, advanced Java, then okay, design pattern. Some maturity is required to understand design pattern. Design pattern is not learning core Java. Design pattern is what? Creating better core Java code, better advanced Java code, becoming matured programmer, not writing the code, writing better code. Right, guys. If instance double equal to null, array, as a member variable, what is the default value? Null. If it is assigned with object, what it will hold? Address of the object. If it is assigned with object, what it holds, guys? Address of the object. Come on, guys. If it is null, do one thing, my dear. Instance is equal to new printer of. So our private constructor is there. How can you use new operator? I am using new operator within the class, Bob. It should be allowed. New operator cannot be used outside the class when class is having private constructor. But right now I'm using new operator within the class, right? Super, guys. Then what? Return instance. Return instance. End of the class, guys. Over. I'm not saying it's a perfect singleton class, guys. Singleton class with the minimum standards. Okay, guys. Outsider of the class. Somewhere outsider of the class. Okay. Nothing but test application or client application. Test up. Who want to test whether it is really singleton or not? What is going to do? Okay. Printer P1 is equal to new printer of valida, invalida. Valida, invalida, guys. Is it valid statement? Invalid, Ra Babu. Can I use new operator outside the class? Outside of the printer class. Somewhere. Outside of this one. Invalid, guys. Now tell me next one. Okay, guys. Tushar, when you call method when null is there, you will get exception. When you check for null, exception will not come. Focus. Tushar, when you call method when null is there, you will get null pointer exception. When check for null pointer exception will not come. Change your knowledge. Printer P1 is equal to printer dot. Array, static methods can be called outside the class on the class name or not. Get in a stance of. I am calling second time. Printer P2 is equal to printer dot get in a stance of. Total how many times I call this method, guys? 2 times. Total how many times I call this method, guys? 2 times. Shall we see the flow now? Okay. First line executed. Printer dot. Okay, I'm commenting this because that is invalid. Okay, leave it. Printer dot get instance. Okay, guys. Control has gone to get instance method. Array, in that process, printer class loaded na. Printer class loaded means what? Already this member variable allocated memory. This is allocated memory having null. Array, during class loading only static variables allocates memory or not? Come on. And by default, it holds what? Null, guys. Okay, cool. Get instance. Is instance null, guys? Yes. Is instance null, guys? Yes. Yes. Instance is equal to new printer of. Okay, now I'm creating object, guys. I'm creating object, guys. Object is created or not created? Super. Printer object is created. Printer object is created. Okay, referred by instance. Basically, instance is having null, guys. Basically, instance is having null. That null will be replaced with what, guys? Address of the object. Address of the object. Let us assume this is the address of the object. Okay, 11122. Yeah, because of this, instance start referring to what? Instance start referring to object. Yes. Super. Right, boss. Object is created. Okay, right now this is written instance. Written instance. Array reference variable pointing to printer object returned to this place, guys. Returned to client application. So that means client also creating one reference variable whose name is P1, and this P1 also holds what, guys? 11222, and this also start referring to what? Printer class object or not? This also started referring to what? Printer class object. Say, my dear, convinced or not, my dears? Yes, guys. Yes. Right, boss. Now next one, next line. Printer P2 is equal to printer dot get instance. First of all, tell me, one object can have one reference variable, multiple reference variable. Pointing to one object, can I have one reference variable or multiple reference variables? I can definitely have multiple reference variables. Okay. Array, my body is object. My nicknames and my names are reference variables. For one body, only one name will be there or lots of names will be there. One real name will be there, lots of nicknames will be there, right? So that means what? Body is the object. Your names are the name of the object or reference variables of the object. Super, guys. Printer dot get instance. Second time. Control comes to this. Tell me, if instance double equal to null, do you think instance is null now? Do you really think instance is null now? No, it is filled with object. It is referring object. Then what it is doing? Return instance. Array, it is returning printer object reference back to what? Client application. Back to client application. That means what happened? One more reference variable will be created. That means same reference is created pointing to that object or not? P2. Here 11133. Here is what? Another reference variable. Everyone got the clarity, guys? Okay, guys. Now tell me. SOP. I'll show practicals also. Don't worry. SOP P1 dot hash code of P1 dot hash code of space. Okay, array double one triple two is the address of the object. I am placed when object is created. Reference variable holds the address of the object. Core Java fundamentals, ra babu. Please, double one triple two is the address of the object. Whenever reference variable points to object, come on. Okay. Super guys. Tell me, gives the same hash code or not? Gives the same hash code. It is not address of the object. Gives the same hash code. Why? Both references are pointing to same object. That's why you will get same hash code. One object will have only one hash code. Both are pointing to same object. That's why same hash code will come or not. Super guys. System.out.println. System.out.println. Okay. P1 double equal to P2 question mark. Okay, really P1 double equal to P2. Tell me guys, I'm checking P1, P2 are equal or not. Double equal to checks what? Content or references are? Double equal to checks what? Content or references are? References. Whether both reference variables are pointing to same object or not, right? Okay. Whether both reference variables are pointing to same object or not. P1, P2 both are pointing to same object or not. Yes. Yes. That's why what that gives true. Okay. Now I'm going to call printer dot get instance third time, fourth time, fifth time. Am I going to get new object? Or does it going to return already created object? Understanding my point? Equals method checks content. Double equal to operator checks references. Say something, my dears. Okay. Tell me, guys, is it perfect singleton, guys? The best singleton? No other ways are creating object for this class? Through factory method, fine. But no. This is minimum standards only. This is not perfect singleton. There are so many other doors are there to create object for this class. We have to close those doors one by one. Okay, we have to close those doors one by one. Understanding my statement, guys? Okay. I think you enjoyed singleton class with the minimum standards. Okay, now you try to read these three lines. Singleton Java class with the minimum standards. Place zero param constructor. In fact, all constructor as private constructor to stop outsider to use new operator to create object for the class. Yes, this is this. Okay. Rule number 3. Static factory method having singleton logic. Having singleton logic. Everyone got the clarity, guys? Come on. What's the second rule, guys? Place one private static reference variable of class type to hold the reference of one object to be created. Based on this reference variable, we can check whether single object for Java class is already created or not. Yeah, definitely we are doing that one or not. We are taking reference variable to hold reference of the single object that will be created. Later we are using that reference variable to check whether single object for the class is already been created or not. Now we are able to visualize these lines, guys. Reference variables holds null, single object still not created. Reference variable holds address of the object, like this address of the object. Single object is already created. Super, guys. Next one. Place one static factory method. What is factory method? Method creating object. Having singleton logic. Logic to create object by checking the above reference variable. By checking the above reference variable. Yes, we are checking singleton logic or not. We are placing singleton logic over there or not there. Come on. Tell me, guys. Are we going to mug up the code? Are we going to blindly understanding the code? Now tell me, in the midnight 2 o'clock, if someone asks to write singleton class with the minimum standards, can't you write? Can't you write? You have a reason for every letter of these lines, guys. You have a reason for every letter of these lines, right? Why each letter is placed. You have a reason or not? Super. But this is not a perfect singleton, guys. This is singleton with minimum standards. Okay. Right. This is not a perfect singleton. By that time we develop perfect singleton, there will be nearly 7-8 rules, boss. There will be nearly 7-8 rules. This is only to begin with simple singleton class. Still, there are other 4-5 doors that are really open to create object by violating singleton behavior of this class. We have to close them one by one, and knowing what is that and why it is open and how to close it. Nothing but developing perfect singleton. That needs time, that needs a lot of explanation. You know, when our interviewer asks, can you develop singleton class for us? Or can you write singleton class on the piece of paper? Smile comes in the faces of our students because they are quite expected questions, right? Right, boss. Right, boss. I hope everyone enjoyed today's class. Tomorrow we'll see practicals of these minimum standards. Then we will try to find out loopholes of this code and we'll try to cover each loophole. We'll try to close each loophole. Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. Have a nice time. I will start the session exactly by 5:45 to 5:50 and the session will continue 7:05, 7:10. If you have other classes, try to adjust. 7:10, sometimes 7:15 also it may come. Thank you, guys. Have a nice time. Sir, creating no objects is not singleton. Creating no objects for a class is not singleton. Okay. Mr. Core 17, at the end, I will give best practice of developing singleton. Understanding my point? Can I use IIB for null checking? What is IIB, boss? I didn't understand, Sucharita. Immediate if. Immediate if is for if and else, both you should write. You can write, you can go for immediate if also, not an issue. You're talking about ternary operator? Yes, you may go for it. At the end, I will give best way of writing the code. In a Sucharita madam, I will give those things. In a stance block approach, static block approach. Okay. Mandav, can you tell me when your advanced Java batch will start? Inside package, Hibernate with JPA course is not. Madhav, we offered that one only for 1-2 batches. Okay, talk to admin, but next advanced Java batch starts in the month of January. Thank you, guys. Have a nice time. We'll meet tomorrow. Okay.